Welcome to the Melomaniac's Paradise, and today we will be breaking down and reviewing D'Angelo's Voodoo album. Voodoo is the second studio album by D'Angelo. Around this time, D'Angelo was 5 years removed from his first album, Brown Sugar. Brown Sugar lived up to this critical acclaim, becoming the world's introduction to the soul messiah. Voodoo was recorded at Jimi Hendrix Electric Lady Studios in New York City. Around this time, Electric Lady Studios was home to the Soulquarians. The Soulquarians were a group of neo-soul and R&B artists collectively collaborating, birthing the neo-soul sound. Many of the members were Questlove, Common, D'Angelo, Belial, Erykah Badu, James Posner, Mos Def, and many others. The collective birthed projects like Badu's Mama's Gun, Common's Like Water for Chocolate, The Roots' Things Fall Apart, and of course, D'Angelo's Voodoo. D'Angelo on Voodoo is a chef. In this set kitchen, D'Angelo is making gumbo. Gumbo is a popular stew birthed from the Creole cuisine of Louisiana. Gumbo is used in many ingredients from the Creole culture, creating a complete ensemble. D'Angelo's 13 album track incorporates musical styles across from the Black diaspora, including genres like funk, soul, gospel, jazz, hip-hop, blues, and R&B, creating this musical gumbo, breaking limitations and creating music good for the soul. On Voodoo, D'Angelo essentially enrolls the listener's ear, pushing the groove the whole album. The groove is the footprint of the album, combining all genres and styles of music. What is the groove, you may ask? Groove is when your foot starts stomping or that stank face you require while listening. Groove isn't measured by time signatures or fractions of beats on Voodoo, but groove is simply felt throughout the album. Groove is a feeling. It's an effect or a rhythm propelling the listener to not only react but genuinely feel the sensation of the music. D'Angelo doesn't per se create a new genre when in listening these black culture genres, but he uses it and fuses it into a new sound, delivering it to the user. Yes, the musical part is essential, but the lyrics play a part also. D'Angelo shows off his pen skills in almost every song, speaking of personal growth, spirituality, sexuality, and many more other themes. This is all composed under the title Voodoo. The name has the meaning of stimulating emotions and getting the listener to feel something like that said groove. In the July 2000 interview with Jet Magazine, D'Angelo revealed the inspiration behind the title. I named the album Voodoo because I was really trying to give a notion of how powerful music is and how we as artists, when we cross over, need to respect the power of music. Voodoo is an ancient African tradition. We use voodoo in the drums or whatever, the cadences, and call out to our ancestors, and that in itself will invoke spirits. And music has a lot of power to do that, to invoke emotions, evoke spirit. That's something I learned in church when I was very young, and that's what I wanted to get across. In this album, D'Angelo makes his explanation clear. He wants the listener to leave with something after listening to the album. He wants them to cultivate that groove, cultivate that feeling that's presented to the listener in Voodoo. Now, let's break down some themes in the album. Let's start with sexuality, of course. Around this time, D'Angelo was being displayed as a sex symbol. Plenty of this was due to his sensual music video of entitled Or How Does It Feel? In this song, D'Angelo is in some way pleading for a woman's personal intimacy. D'Angelo seductively outpours his emotions beyond a simplified drum beat with an affectionate accompanying electric guitar and overdubbed falsetto vocals in the background. The song's music video is paired with D'Angelo singing the song shirtless as the camera frame sits on the edge of his hips. The video soon sent a massive wave to D'Angelo's fanbase and listening him as that said sex symbol. Yes, sex is a theme in the album, but I believe the true meaning behind the song was simply more than sex. D'Angelo wanted to share his love along with having that physical sexual desire towards that certain person. D'Angelo took the spotlight of becoming a sex symbol eventually when he didn't want to. As said before, D'Angelo wanted the listener to cultivate and evoke emotions from his music. The emotions D'Angelo eventually got was paraded for his body and was not for his music. D'Angelo told Jet Magazine, "Don't get me wrong, I want to get people's attention, but I don't want the exterior to overshadow the music that's coming out of me." D'Angelo wanted to make music to touch people's hearts, but he was met by female fans yelling at him to take his clothes off while others tossed clothes into a stage. While on tour, Roy Hargrove, a trumpeter during D'Angelo's The Voodoo Tour, recounted, "We couldn't get through one song before women would start to scream for him to take something off. It wasn't about the music. All they wanted him to do was take his clothes off." At this point, we understand D'Angelo's disappearance from music for over a decade. He just wanted his music, but it wasn't about his music anymore. Another theme that we see in D'Angelo's Voodoo is spirituality. On The Devil's Pie, the second song on the album, D'Angelo reprimands the wickedness of social life and materialism. The DJ Premier produced beat is overall explaining how the desires and activity of mankind are sold by the Devil's Pie. Questlove, who produced majority of the album along with D'Angelo, stated that The Devil's Pie was written to address the issues of the money-hungry, jigified state of the world that we were in. As the song questions, what will people really do for material things? They'll do anything for the devil's slice of pie. The fifth track on D'Angelo's Voodoo album, Centered On, evokes emotions of personal growth and also another example of spirituality. The song samples Kool and the Gang's Sea of Tranquility. Centered On was co-written by his then-girlfriend and mother of his newborn son, singer Angie Stone. It was a dedication to D'Angelo's newborn son, thanking God for his gift. Angie Stone then told Vibe magazine, "Voodoo started the day we were with our son. I felt like he approached the album as if it was a celebration. Centered On jump-started the project, and I credit our son for that. The song is a spiritual overtone that came with the revelation and faith, and thank you God for such a beautiful gift." On track number 7, One More Again, we see that D'Angelo is trying to catch up with someone who he once loved, trying to rekindle that flame that once burned. One line in the song that speaks out to me is, "I long to hold you tight, girl, one more again." D'Angelo is not only trying to rekindle and restore this past relationship, but he would like to revisit being on a sexual and personal level with that said person. On Voodoo's 8th track, The Root, D'Angelo is tying the title name together with this song. This double meaning is explaining how his ex has put him under a spell, causing him internal pain. Root work is sometimes known as hoodoo, which is the magic that is derived from the teachings of voodoo. This again is a play on the album's name. On Voodoo's 10th track, Feel Like Making Love, this is a cover of Roberta Flack's 1974 song. The track simply speaks of D'Angelo now opening himself up to now be able to involve himself with someone in love. In D'Angelo's last track, Africa, this is another song showing the theme of not only personal growth, but spirituality. D'Angelo speaks volumes of the love for his son, stating, concerning this song, Questlove said in a blog post, D'Angelo wanted to do a song that spoke of history, not just of his son, but to God, to Africa, and the world. D'Angelo's Voodoo went on to become certified platinum in the United States. Voodoo also won the Grammy Award for Best R&B Album, and the song Untitled or How Does It Feel won Best R&B Vocal Performance. Finally, this album for me is a 10 out of 10. You know, just looking at all the views, everything that just surrounds this album is just so beautiful for me. My 3 favorite tracks are Untitled or How Does It Feel, Centered On, and Feel Like Making Love. D'Angelo again serves the world a hot pot of gumbo, evoking many emotions from listeners. He serves it with the groove, passionate lyrics, and of course, voodoo.